Nice.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
How are you doing? You all right?
I'm
Yeah, Brill.
Good, good.
tired but good.
Hi, but good.
I saw your little trip downtown earlier.
Oh yeah,
I was watching, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Where was that? Was that near Midbury-Platsen?
correct. Me,
Just down that road, further down on the bottom,
yes,
towards Lu.
yeah,
Yes, yeah.
God's backing.
Great horse.
Yeah, we went to a little pub called Crazy Horse, a quite large pub, but yeah, it's nice, cheap beer, nice vibe.
Right.
Yeah,
Is
definitely.
there a pub down there called the Corn House or the Corn Exchange? It's near the park. It's opposite the park. If you come back up that road, you know that you got the square on your right hand on the it'll be on your right hand side. It'll be on your left hand side as you're going up the road from where you were.
Well, to be honest, I've lost a bit of
Kvarnen.
touch. Yeah,
Is it
Kvar.
Kvarnen?
Yes,
It's like the
yes,
windmill in Swedish. Kvarnen.
that's it. Yeah. I like it there. I
Hmm.
like it there. Yep.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's a
you probably
nice.
saw in the video that there's a lot of blue flashing lights. And um, that creates a certain vibe, doesn't it? So that's why you would
Was
think
it police or ambulance?
it's everything. It was like fire
Oh,
engines, ambulance, police.
oh Jesus.
This car got stopped right outside the window by a police car when we were sitting.
Yeah, and the funny thing was the guy who stopped the car, who they stopped, he pulled up to the side so the other cars could drive past, but the police car just stopped right in front of the road. So this guy behind, he stood waiting for about half an hour.
Yeah,
Oh God.
they
God.
weren't pretty quick.
Unlucky for him.
But I mean, like, it was
Unlucky.
cool with the blue flashing light, but at the same time, it sort of creates this like dystopian, stressful atmosphere, which I was like,
Mm.
we want to get away from this, don't we? We want to create a,
No, it's a hazard, isn't it? It's a hazard light.
yeah. I mean, it looks like blue disco, but I was thinking like maybe we should talk about how we can create a positive future.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
How do you guys
That's great.
how do you guys create positivity in your own lives?
Yeah, I'd love to
What you
see.
give, you get back, I think.
Oh,
So
that's
if you give positive energy to the ones around you and the people you meet, you will get positive ripples effects through the society, I think. And also you will get positive energy back.
Mm. Yeah, it's
It's
true.
like
Yeah.
the notion of the two wolves. If you have two wolves, one is negative, one is positive. The one you feed will grow, and the other one will die off.
That's interesting.
How come it's wolves?
I don't I don't know. It sounds more.
You're going to pay attention to wolves.
Sounds aggressive.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a negative wolf around. You want a positive wolf.
Yes.
Yeah.
a werewolf.
Yeah.
I think one easy thing is like to create more positivity for me anyway, is to that if I do my best, if I put my all in everything I do, I create positivity for me, if you know what I mean. You
Yes,
Mm.
can do
totally.
something like just because you have to do it, but if you do it with your heart and put everything in it, it's creating more positivity, more energy every time.
It's like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
I just think of like Masaru Emoto's water experiments, where he's taken water and he's like said good things like love, peace, and he's said the opposite too. And he's frozen these particles down and looked at them on a microscope and
I've seen this.
seen the
Yeah.
crystal form like nice
Different shapes.
patterns
Yeah.
with the love frequency, and the negative ones they get all disrupted and like
Yeah.
crazy.
Messed up and chaos. Chaotic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
So, and we are like, what is it, 70 or 80% water? So
Water. Yeah.
it could be something quite powerful there.
I totally agree. That's why, I mean, like, I feel at the moment I'm trying to live this philosophy in real life, and things have been working out lately. Like, you know, just things are working out. Like, yeah, positive. I've had a good time lately, and I'm continuing to focus on the good things. I know the old me, I was always like that in December, you know, like you're focusing on uphill end of the year, I'm going to get this done and get that done. Focusing on problems is just going to create more problems. So now it's like a new year, new possibilities, new solutions, new perspectives, new everything. So that's why I thought we could talk a bit about how we can inspire others. I'm inspired today by another podcast saying the world needs positive future visions.
I think you are where you focus your attention. So if you're going to focus your attention on the bad things, like I said before, you know, you're only looking out for the bad things then, and you're only going to spot the bad things, and it's more likely bad things are going to happen. Or if you're looking for the good things in everything, it's more of a positive outlook.
Yeah,
It's going to breed more positivity, and the negativity is going to breed more negativity.
It's a bit like with magnets, where there's a plus and a minus.
Yes.
And we attract by our own magnetism the things that we want in life, and even the things we don't want in life. It depends on what we're thinking about constantly. That's what we're pulling into our existence, to our experience, basically.
We live in an electrical realm, don't we? Everything's everything's got a negative or a positive charge to it, to even a small fraction of a degree. Or the ground is supposed to be, or the ground is neutral actually, or near to neutral. I think we live in an electrical realm, and it's interesting line of thought, you know.
So what's like the best thing that could happen to planet Earth, like this year? Like, what are the positive things that would need to happen?
A global peace agreement.
I think a Bitcoin adoption, like El Salvador. I'm not even joking.
Bitcoin adoption.
You know, it's a famous quote. You know, fix the money, you fix the world.
Yeah.
And you know, the root of all evil is money. So if you can work from something people can store their value into, rather than it getting, you know, eroded away. Not to bring this all back to crypto again, but you know.
You'll have Leon like, sorry, what was that?
I mean, I think like this conversation here now, it's I mean, if we shouldn't forget how positive energy affects other people in the room.
Definitely.
And depending on where you are, sometimes you got 1,000 people surrounding you, and if you go positive energy, you're going to affect a whole lot of them on a positive way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
It's like also in traffic, if you like keep it calm and just be in a positive state of mind, and you let people go through, pass you, and don't try to compete with your fellow traffickers, you know. That will make a huge impact, because if you smile and wave to someone, they will do the same thing to their next situation. And
politeness is in a positive future. I totally agree with that, because I'm trying to practice that myself. Like, you know, like say I've been using public transport a lot lately, and it's like, you know, just, you know, moving seats when you see someone get on, like, yeah, there's a free seat here. Like I did that this morning. They were like really happy, and then it was my turn to get off. You know, they move to the side, you're like, thank you, and then you just slightly better.
Yeah, we are creators. We are creators of a positive like culture
of the movement, the positive vibes movement.
Yeah.
You notice the difference with people on public transport in the UK compared to, well, I noticed it obviously when I was living over there, compared to in Sweden. They don't really, not many people or random people don't often talk to each other. You don't normally strike up a conversation on the tube with someone on the underground, on the bus. I think it's more likely it's going to happen in the UK, but it is still. I mean, even in London, you notice that the bigger the city is, the less likely you are going to have a conversation with somebody. Whereas the more rural and smaller cities, smaller towns, smaller villages, people are more connected with each other. Maybe that's a problem with big cities.
But isn't
And
that
that's probably a big.
isn't that because you can't like use your phone in the same way on the tube because there's no reception there?
There's that as well. There is that as well. Yeah, I just go on Twitter. I've got pages of Twitter.
But does it?
But I think it's a lot about what signals you are sending out, or me. But if I'm sending out a signal, I'm open, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
positive.
Yes,
I'm
because we
happy.
pick up on
People
these
speak
things,
with
don't we?
me on the, you know, when I'm happy and feeling good,
Yes,
it's likely that people talks to me.
yeah.
Mm.
I know, but it's interesting because it does work, doesn't it? Because I mean, like at work, me and this guy were going through the door, and then this like really grumpy man just came up, and like within 2 seconds, we were like looking at each other, like, why is he so grumpy? Because we were picking
Yeah.
up on these things. Didn't even say anything, but we just felt the vibe of like that's a grumpy
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do get that. Yeah. Yeah,
but
some people are always like this, aren't they? Some people are just often grumpy and miserable. And then they don't like other people around. They don't like to see other people happy. Oh, what are you happy about? You know?
yeah.
Mm.
So have you got any
What the
tricks?
fuck are you smiling for?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it, yeah. Yeah.
But then
So
it's
but they-
also a
they get,
question
like,
about
intimidated.
it's also a question about wanting to be a part of the society, if you know
Mhm.
what I mean. Because
Yeah.
today a lot of people they don't want to be a part of the society, so to say. They
Mhm.
live their lives. They don't care about other people, you know. And they don't seem to want to be a part of a society where we talk to each other, where we affect each other with good vibes and positivity.
Yeah.
You know? They're just in their small world with their telephone, and
Mm.
you know, it's
I also think the
I think
news.
getting people in from different, you know, in the UK, like if you look at the UK, there's like you see online sometimes old videos of what London used to look like 50 years ago, 60 years ago, and it's completely different. It's obviously a monoculture. So I don't think, you know, all this diversity is our strength. You know, I don't think it's been such a positive influence on the British culture, really, especially London. I just don't think if you've got different people with from different cultures and different backgrounds and whatnot, I don't know. It just seems fragmented. It's like you all need to unite under something. So I don't know. Having a lot of illegal immigrants in the UK anyway has been bad for many cities, especially in Ireland. Like they value women differently. You know, a lot of these migrants from these African continents, and now women in Ireland and places in Dublin and places in Ireland, they're like scared to even go out on the streets. You know, because of this, where this wouldn't have happened before. And I think it's the same it's the same in Malmo as well. Malmo's had like a bit of a
The same in Sweden.
influx, and it's nothing to do with the color of the skin or anything. It's just like, you know, the value system is just like a completely different value system coming into the country. And if they've got different values on women and life and everything, I don't know, you've got a bit of a fragmentation going on, so there's less cohesion.
Well,
I don't know what you guys think.
that brings me to the thought of like, you know, when we're in a collective, we take up a certain amount of space, and some people will not adjust. They will like, you know, take all the space, and I'm going to do my vibe and just take over the whole vibe, rather than like, you know, sort of treat the collective with respect. And that is an important ingredient to be aware of. So I mean, like, what could you do in a situation where you like, if you get on an underground train or something, you notice like, oh, there's a bit of a thick atmosphere, here's a bad vibe. I mean, like, what could you do? Smile? Like, hello.
Yeah. Smile, I think, is this most powerful thing to spread a
Absolutely, yes, definitely. Well, this is why the masks were so bad. The masks, you know, the COVID masks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The COVID mask was such a bad idea. And I used to say to people, I said, like, you know, like we've all heard like 75% of communication is non-verbal, even higher is what we pick up on, you know, micro signals and whatnot. And I used to say, how would Mr. Bean work with obviously Mr. Bean doesn't speak at all, yeah. So he's got a series. There's like loads of series of Mr. Bean and being funny and comical and all the rest of it. How would that work with when his face is covered up? It's like, you know. So it just goes to show. I think. Sorry.
Put on your face nappy and be
Yeah,
quiet.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, people are still wearing them. People are still wearing these things. It's crazy.
No.
I mean,
A
a
lot
few
of people
people.
think that thought is silly, but I mean, I take it really seriously because I mean, it does like, you know, it's like everyone's looking
Definitely.
at this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, kids are like their learning has like slowed down because how, you know, if 75% of the communication is non-verbal and their teacher has got 75% less information coming to the children, of course the children are going to learn slowly because they're getting 75% less communication, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is happening all around while COVID's going on. So yeah, I think it's been a really bad idea to wear masks, all in all. And I don't think they work anyway. You're breathing in your own germs. Crazy. But I think this was the plan, not to bring this to the whole COVID conspiracy thing. But I think this was the plan was, you know, just to remind people, you know, it wasn't to, you know, if people were wearing these masks, why would you be reminded COVID was around? No one's dropping dead in front of you. The only reason you're being reminded about COVID is because they're wearing a mask, they're wearing a mask, they're wearing a mask. You know, everyone's wearing a mask. It's just a constant reminder.
I totally agree.
So yeah, I think that's what they wanted because they said no to masks, and then they flip flopped on it, and they go, "Oh no, we do need masks," because I think they realised it helped with the whole fear, and we know that fear is one of their main tools for controlling people. You know,
Yeah, and I was
it's a powerful tool.
I was afraid because I never wore a mask because I didn't have a mask, and I was like always afraid, like, what if everyone else is wearing a mask on the train? What the heck am I going to do? And then my happiness was seeing like, no, most people aren't wearing masks, and you know, it's pretty like normalized, and most people don't wear a mask on the train, and it's pretty normal, at least in Sweden these days. But yes, you see the odd
in Sweden. Yes, in Sweden. I mean, I was living in Lisbon in Portugal, and it was even worse than the UK. They had to wear, get this, they had to wear masks outside in busy areas. They're wearing masks outside.
What happened
They had
if
to.
they didn't?
And I mean, the germ that we were supposed to be protected from wearing the mask is like a fly flying through a soccer goal, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's been lots of tests, you know, lots of experiments done on all this, and it doesn't work. It's just, and everyone wears the same mask all the time. No one gets a brand new mask out. You know, when they get in the, you know, when they get in the car, they take the mask off, put it down, and then they're touching it with their hands. There's this one girl, I was walking down the street, and there's this one girl, she didn't have a mask on, and it's just like round here. And as she was walking past me, she just lifted it up and put it over her face. So,
with her dirty hands.
She's so scared. Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's even worse because it's hot weather. So you got hot weather and you got this thing around your mouth, and you're just like, oh, awful.
Is it not like
traumatic
mask, really, having something on your face all the time? Is it not creating bacteria and what's it called, like
the perfect environment for bacterial growth?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, you're not getting fresh air. There's a reason we say let's go outside and get some fresh air. We go, let's go outside, put a mask on. It doesn't happen. You go outside to get some fresh air. You know?
So anyway, if you're not in a positive mode, have you got any tricks how to bring yourself into a positive vibe?
I mean, you can program yourself. If you feel that you're going into a negative vibe, just stop and reprogram yourself. I think you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's not that it's not easy to be positive, and that's something you have to work on every day to be positive. You know,
that's true.
It's
I
not
agree with
just
that.
natural, but you have to think about it in every situation. In every situation when you feel frustrated or negative or anything, you have to remind yourself all the time. The more times you remind yourself, the easier it gets to be positive.
Yeah, and teach yourself to.
Like Andy, when your glass exploded in the kitchen.
Yeah, it was like
what happened?
like cause and effect. Like, what the what the hell happened now? It was like, I was just gonna put this jar of oregano, like just a bit in, and then something else fell down and it hit the glass straight on, and the whole glass just exploded in all directions. I was like, what the hell happened there? And we just laughed it out. I think the best way to treat negativity is to laugh it all out, not take your life so serious. Just be a bit more joyful about stuff.
But I mean that takes some training as well to just let it rain, you know.
Yeah.
I would
I
say
think it depends on your parents as well, like what your parents are like, because obviously they're the adults which are around you all the time. So if they're happy and positive, it's going to kind of rub off onto you. So, but
that's
if you
something
do get yourself,
we really have to
pardon?
teach the kids how to be positive, how to think, how
Yes.
to use the brain
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
maybe it's an idea to teach kids to like meditate and stuff like that, to do like heart meditation and
That would be good.
Because
That would be good.
the funny thing was Anthony calls me up and he's told me the story about his oregano exploding over the kitchen. And I'm cleaning my kitchen. I put my kids to bed. So I'm enjoying my last, like, little mini IPA beer in my last, like, nice beer glass. And then all of a sudden a knife just falls over the glass and smashes it. So the same thing happens in my kitchen. It's like,
The same day.
yeah, yes. Do you mean just like 5 minutes after Anthony told me? I was just like, you never guess what just happened, and I just sent the picture of a smashed glass.
Yeah, I mean, kids are like little sponges, aren't they? Kids like suck up everything. It's like languages. It's good to get kids to speak two different languages while they're young, because they're going to suck it up and remember it.
Yes.
Remember these things. So
And,
yeah, if you can be positive towards them, same like with your kids, I suppose, Leon. If you can, be happier around there, they're going to be more happier, and
Yeah.
You're going to feel a lot better. And I mean, I think that's our biggest thing as a parent is to teach our kids how to use the brain, how to be in control of your thoughts, and I mean, because that's something they won't learn in school.
No.
100%. Yeah,
How
I
to
completely agree with that.
thoughts, how to think positive, how to steer your thoughts.
One good
Yes,
play
definitely. Yeah.
exercising these thoughts were at the bowling play. I went bowling with my kids, and they were so pissed off when they bought the bowling ball kept going down the gutter all the time. They kept missing. They were so angry. They're like, "You're gonna get
And the
better."
ball were doing more
Did you
than
not give him the? Can you not put the barriers up for the kids?
Yeah, but
Normally
then
in
they
the UK,
get
you put
pissed off.
barriers up.
Then they get pissed off because they don't want to have those barriers. They want to know how to do it,
I don't know. I know some adults which like them barriers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I thought, Rich? I thought you were gonna say teach the kids crypto or something like that.
No,
Like,
I mean, why not? Start them young. It's a new technology. I think talking about crypto now is like talking about the internet and email back in 1991 or whatever it was, 1987. No one knows about it. And they're like, now it's
the
just normal.
so they can make their own money, so they can like feel like they have a sense of importance, and give them the tools that you would have wanted when you were a kid, that basically.
I guess like something like Bitcoin, for example, just take Bitcoin. Rather than giving the kids pocket money, if you give them Bitcoin is going to keep going up forever. I mean, yes, on the daily and the weekly, it goes up and down. It's very volatile, but you're going to get this with an emerging asset. But, everyone's under the assumption now this is going to keep going up forever. And as the adoption gets greater, the demand for it goes up. It's just going to keep pushing it up. So rather than buying them, giving them pocket money in krona, just buy them a small amount of crypto. At least that they're not going to lose the purchasing power. Because if they take that krona and you stick it in a bank and leave it in there for 10 years, that money's just going down in value. Still the same ones and zeros, but you can buy less stuff with it.
They're not going to buy toffees for it.
But one thing is that, I
No
mean,
toffees.
parents, they
Sorry.
save up money for the kids and, you know, buy material things and everything, but they don't learn their kids how to think positive, you know, how to act, how to work with their thoughts and things like that. Everything is so materialized today, and that's not what they need. They need time from their parents. They need to learn from their parents how to live, how to think, how to, you know, those things instead.
How to handle emotions.
Yeah.
There's lots of things that the educational system isn't teaching the children, and that, you know, for the detriment to the children. Obviously, they should know these things, you know, these life skills, and you know, I think they should understand money, because you know, money is going to be a big part of their life. You know, you don't want to be a slave to the money. You want to save up if you can, and you know, use money to your advantage.
I was thinking of one scary thing, that the kids in America, they nearly don't know where potato chips come from, even though you say potato chips.
Yes.
What's that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it a tree? You know,
Yeah.
kids to actually grow stuff.
Comes from a plastic bag.
Come from.
Yeah. You show them loads of vegetables and they don't know what the vegetables are. They've got no idea what the vegetable is. They can't name the vegetables because they've never seen them before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything is about to create interest about things. You know, we have to create an interest about vegetables, an interest about food. And how do we do that?
I mean, it's a shame that the educational system doesn't put this into the educational system. They just want you to be a good little slave that will just take orders and, you know, regurgitate information and,
I think
not do critical thinking.
I think that, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I think that kids would like to grow their own stuff. They would like to not be in a class.
Absolutely, of course. And I think most parents would want that as well. Most parents would want that. But what did Rockefeller, you know, John D. Rockefeller, he famously quoted, he doesn't want a nation of thinkers, he wants a nation of workers. So, and then he bought all the text, they produced all the textbooks for all these schools. So if they're producing all the textbooks, they get to, you know, they get to write the curriculum and write what's going in there. So obviously they can push their own narratives and put whatever they want in there. They've had 100 years of this. Yeah. And I think things are going to get more corrupt and, you know, then less corrupt. This is why the world's in a fucking mess.
Did any of you guys mention the example where the prisoners were allowed to grow food, and the prisoners who did grow food didn't re-offend, but the ones who did, does anyone recognize this?
Yeah, I told you that in the prior meeting. Yeah, and it was like a French guy who told me that at a meeting with Reformaten, Reform the Food.
Mm-hmm.
It was in California. Had a program where the inmates were allowed to grow food, and also these inmates who grow the food did not come back to prison after that.
That was so interesting. That was so interesting when you said that. That's really good
as well.
Charles Hoskinson, he's the founder of Cardano. He actually he's done this before. He's bought the people who work for him, closest to him, you know, around him. He buys them a little Bondi tree or a little plant to nurture and look after. And he said he would learn a lot about that person, you know, depending on whether the plant lived or didn't live, or, you know, what state the plant was in a month's time. And some of them didn't care. And, you know, I think that leaks through into their own personality and, you know, what they're actually like as people. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting. I went to my brother's place in Colombia and did some ayahuasca, and I had a big vision. What's our purpose here on planet Earth? And I saw a big hologram, and it was us humans. If we take care of ourselves and each other in the best way possible, and if we take care of the plants in the best way possible, and the other animals also in the best way possible, we will reach a higher vibration. So if we think about that in a harmonious cycle,
evolution.
I was just going to say that word, harmony. You know, everything needs to work together. That's the definition of a harmony.
Yeah, and not use
Symbiosis.
everything for our own benefits. Just give more and like optimize everything for the best.
I think that vision it works on if we're talking about this positivity and being happy and everything. It's not easy. It's something that you have to put in some work for every day
Yes.
and do your best every day
That's
in
really
everything you do.
that's interesting because negativity it's always the easiest to reach to have a negative feeling. Oh, I fucking hate it. But
Yes.
it takes more work to create positive stuff. You have
Yeah.
to put your soul into it, and then you can create positive stuff.
Like
And
you
also
have to plan. You have
with
to
the
plan
brain,
for it.
huh?
You have to plan it. You have to plan it into your, your
Envision.
day or your.
You have to
But you would have thought the educational system and society would have planned this into society. It seems as like they want to do more dividing and have
Yes.
people that talking about racism or transphobia or whatever. It's more what's that collectivism, just like pitting each different groups of people against each other, and they're all arguing and
I know
I mean, like,
they're pretty much planning the opposite of like, planning for happiness and planning for unhappiness. Planting
yeah,
fear in people or the news. Victor was mentioning it earlier, like, how the news has a negative impact. Like, what's the next thing to worry about? There's always something to worry about. There's always a war to worry about, or some terrible weather coming, or it's
And
just,
they always seem to overlap each other. The next crisis will always overlap the next crisis, so it's constant crisis all the time.
yes, there's a name. Yeah, there's a name for this. I mean, did you get in your country? Our government wanted to send alerts to our mobile phones if there was like a big
Have it on the
pandemic or.
We had that too.
It's called exposure
Yeah. I
notes.
think you had to opt in for it, or it's automatic, and you have to opt out for it. This is just more. This is getting to the people who don't even watch TV. So this is getting to everybody with a phone, which is practically everybody. Yeah?
Rich, go in on your iPhone and look on exposure notes.
I ain't got iPhone. I've got Android.
Okay, good one. But on all iPhones, you have exposure notes, which basically is the COVID system for reporting.
Fear. Yeah.
Fear system.
Like we were saying before, it's the best tool they've got is fear. And it's like if you look at the old people with the COVID, it's the old people which were more afraid of COVID. I know because they're old, but it's also to do with the fact that they're watching TV all day long because they're at home all day long and they're watching the news all the time. So I think they're easy to manipulate. I think probably. Sorry, go on. I was just going to say probably a good thing is to watch less TV.
Yeah,
watch less
but I
TV.
think the thing is TV, but today everybody has a cell phone, and the cell phone really affects you, even though you don't notice it. They've done tests like in high schools and in universities, with students who write the test with a telephone in the pocket. And then the other group, they have to leave the telephone outside the classroom and they just have a notebook and a pen.
Yeah.
The results are astonishing, the guys with the notebook and the pen, they achieve a lot better results than the ones with a cell phone in the pocket. They don't even look at the telephone or anything, but just the knowledge that knowledge of always having everything in your pocket.
I wonder if it's because they're divided. The mind's kind of divided because they can always the thought or the idea is always there to look and reach for the phone just in case. It's next to you, that connection to everything else and your friends and your social media and likes and all the rest of it. You're just there in your pocket. So you kind of divided your attention. Your attention's now like it could be there, it could be on your work, when really it should be just on your classroom work.
Yeah.
And not divided.
No, exactly.
So how can we conclude this podcast? We're going to have to start wrapping it up.
Henry Kissinger once famously said, "Who controls the food supply controls the people. Who controls energy can control whole continents. And who controls the money can control the world."
Yeah. Well, this is what we were saying. We should change the money.
Yep.
Which changed the money. Look at all the farmers protesting in all the countries with the farmers. They're trying to take over the farms, which is obviously the production of money, production of food. Sorry. And what was the other one? He said
Energy, but it's oil basically and all
and
that.
energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So that's a big one.
Electric cars, so they can turn you off.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, but with like Cardano, which is a decentralized currency, you could
Mm.
support people that do free energy research and stuff like that. And it's
Yes.
have any people that limit that research.
Say that again. Sorry, I missed you there.
If you have like a decentralized currency, you can
Yeah.
basically send money to people that research alternative energy that
Yeah.
basically attacks the current energy system. So you could change
Yeah.
it through the supply of money to these alternative sources. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Cardano as a money is just one application of Cardano. It's meant to build. It's a systems company. It wants to build brand new systems for everything, whether it be a food or um, um, what are the
Energy.
logistics? Yeah, and it's just new trusted institutions and new trusted systems because trust seems to be eroding in every institution in every system which is going. So
But
we
trust
want to
is
bring back this. We want to bring back this trust.
trust is failing big time. People aren't watching TV.
100.
People aren't
Def-
listening to news. People aren't they're switching off their radio. Everything. They're not
Yeah,
tuning into the current system anyway. So it's
people are.
tempting
Yeah, people are having enough. Yeah, I think in the UK there was a poll where trust in the media is like a historic
Only
low,
got
or it's
10
a very low
seconds left. Sorry to be rude,
low
but
point.
you're gonna
No
have to
problem.
stay positive out there until we all see you again. Very
Okay,
Positive vibrations, y'all.
Yes, indeed.
decentralized.
box.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Love you all.
Love, peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.